No map showed this place. In every corner of the galaxy, the space around the red void was marked the same way: do not enter. Ships that crossed its edge never returned. Signals died. Crews vanished. Even long-range scanners refused to work near it, as if space itself was afraid. At the center of the red void lived the forbidden beast. Aliens called it many names. World Ender. Star Eater. The deadliest dragon in the galaxy. It had destroyed armadas without effort. Entire civilizations disappeared after trying to fight it. The dragon did not chase power or territory. It simply existed, and that was enough to bring fear to the stars. Because of it, the galaxy learned one rule that no one dared to break. Never go near the dragon. So when alien sensors detected a human ship entering the red void, panic spread faster than light. "This must be a mistake," one commander said, his voice shaking. "Humans are brave," another replied. "But not foolish." The ship was small. No weapons powered up. No shield walls glowing. It moved slowly, peacefully, straight toward the dragon's territory. Emergency signals were sent to the humans. Warnings. Threats. Begging. There was no reply. From distant observation stations, millions of alien eyes watched the feed. They expected explosions. They expected screaming. They expected the ship to vanish like all the others. But it didn't. The ship stopped. And then something even more impossible happened. A door opened. No soldiers came out. No armored warriors. No machines of war. Instead, a human child stepped into the open void. The child was small. Fragile. No helmet. No weapon. Just a thin suit and curious eyes. The galaxy froze. "Is this a joke?" an alien leader whispered. The child floated forward, guided by the ship's soft lights. Showed no fear. No hesitation. The red void trembled slightly, as if something ancient had noticed the movement. Deep within the darkness, something massive shifted. The dragon was waking. Space bent around its shape. Stars dimmed as its eyes opened. Its presence alone crushed the minds of weaker species. Alarm systems screamed across alien stations. "Stop the child," someone shouted. "Recall the ship," another begged. "They're sending it to die." But the human ship stayed still. And the child kept moving. Step by slow step, the child drifted closer to the shadow. The dragon's outline became clear, vast wings folded like broken mountains, scales dark as burned worlds, eyes glowing with ancient rage. The dragon had sensed enemies before. It had sensed fear before. But this was different. There was no hatred coming from the child. No challenge. No aggression. Only calm. The dragon released a low sound. Not a roar, but a warning. Space shook. Nearby stations lost power. Many aliens turned away, unable to watch what they believed would be the child's final moment. The child stopped just a short distance away. So close that death was certain. The dragon lowered its massive head. Its breath alone could melt steel. One move would end everything. The galaxy waited for fire. For blood. For silence. The human child looked up, and smiled. And the forbidden beast stared back. For the first time in its endless life, the dragon did not attack. The galaxy held its breath, unaware that history was about to change forever. The silence after the dragon lowered its head was worse than any explosion. Across the galaxy, alien leaders stared at their screens, unable to speak. No one understood what they were seeing. The child was still alive. The dragon had not burned the space around it. The void itself seemed to pause. The dragon's eyes glowed brighter. Its massive head moved closer, slow and heavy, each motion bending space. Ancient scars crossed its scales, marks from wars older than most civilizations. This was not a creature that showed mercy. This was a force that ended stories. The child did not move away. Inside the human ship, the crew watched in silence. No alarms rang. No one reached for controls. They trusted what was happening, even if no one else did. The dragon released a deep breath. Hot energy rolled through space like a wave. Alien sensors screamed warnings. A single breath could tear the child apart. But the child stayed calm. Small hands lifted slowly, not as a shield, but as a greeting. The child's face showed wonder, not fear. To the child, the dragon was not a weapon. It was something alive. Alien commanders shouted in panic. Orders were sent to fire long-range weapons. Some ships tried to lock targets. But none of the systems worked. It was as if the galaxy itself refused to interfere. The dragon's enormous eye focused on the child. It searched for hatred. It searched for threat. It searched for the familiar taste of fear. It found none. Instead, it felt something strange. Something it had not felt in a very long time. The child drifted closer, close enough that the dragon's shadow covered everything. Close enough that death should have already happened. Then the impossible occurred. The child leaned forward. And kissed the dragon's scale. The contact was gentle. Soft. Barely more than a touch. The effect was immediate. The dragon froze. Its glowing eyes dimmed slightly. The violent energy around its body vanished. Space stopped screaming. Sensors stabilized. Across the galaxy, communication lines that had gone silent slowly came back online. No one spoke. No one breathed. The dragon pulled its head back just a little, as if confused by what had happened. The place where the child had kissed felt warm. Not painful. Not threatening. Warm. Inside the dragon's ancient mind, memories stirred. Old images flashed, long-forgotten skies, voices that did not scream, hands that did not carry weapons. A time before fear. Before endless war. The dragon had forgotten that time. The child smiled again and placed a small hand on the dragon's face. The size difference was beyond belief. A tiny hand against a mountain of scales. Still, the dragon did not move. Alien leaders began to whisper. Some thought it was a trap. Others believed the dragon was preparing something far worse. A delayed attack. A cruel game. But deep inside, a truth began to grow. This was not control. This was not power. This was something else. The dragon slowly lowered its head even further, until it rested close to the child. Its wings folded tighter. The killing presence that once filled the void was gone. For the first time in known history, the deadliest dragon in the galaxy showed restraint. And fear shifted. No longer was the galaxy afraid of the dragon. Now, it was afraid of what humans truly were. Because no weapon had stopped the beast. No fleet. No empire. Only a child. Only kindness. And the galaxy had no answer for that. The dragon stayed still. That alone was enough to break everything the galaxy believed. Its massive body floated quietly in the red void. The storms of energy that once surrounded it were gone. No fire burned from its mouth. No death followed its shadow. The silence now felt different, heavy, emotional, alive. The child remained close, one hand resting against the dragon's scale. The warmth was real. The dragon felt it clearly. Not heat. Not power. Care. Inside the dragon's mind, something cracked. Memories that had been buried under centuries of rage began to surface. Not as clear pictures, but as feelings. Soft sounds. Gentle voices. A sky that did not burn. A place where the dragon was not feared. Long ago, before fleets attacked it. Before planets tried to chain it. Before pain taught it to destroy first. The dragon had once been young. It had once trusted. That trust was broken when the galaxy decided it was a weapon, not a life. They hunted it. Studied it. Heard it. Every scar on its body carried a lesson: never allow anyone close again. So it became what they feared. And now, a human child stood where empires had failed. The dragon slowly lifted one claw, larger than the human ship itself. Alien commanders screamed, convinced the end had come. Weapons tried to lock on again. Emergency orders flooded every channel. But the claw did not strike. It hovered in space, trembling. The dragon was afraid. Not of death, but of remembering. The child looked at the claw with curiosity, not panic. Slowly, carefully, the child reached out and touched the edge of it. The motion was small, simple, innocent. The dragon felt it. A small touch, yet stronger than any attack it had ever endured. A deep sound escaped the dragon's chest. Not a roar. Not anger. A low, broken sound filled with pain. The galaxy listened in shock as the sound carried through space. It was the sound of a being that had carried loneliness for too long. The child stayed. Did not pull away. Did not run. The human ship moved slightly closer, offering soft light. No shields. No threats. Just presence. That was when the truth became clear to the watching galaxy. Humans were not fearless because they were powerful. They were fearless because they chose empathy. The dragon lowered its claw and gently pulled it back. Slowly, it curled its wings around its body, making itself smaller. Less threatening. Less alone. Alien historians watched in disbelief as ancient data updated itself. The dragon's energy readings were changing. Its mind patterns were no longer violent. Something was healing. The dragon leaned its head closer to the child, close enough to feel the child's breath. Close enough to hear a soft laugh. The sound echoed strangely in the vastness of space. The dragon closed its eyes. For the first time in ages, it rested. The galaxy had called it a monster for so long that no one ever asked what made it one. Humans did. And they did not ask with words. They asked with kindness. Across the stars, alien leaders felt something they did not expect: shame. They had sent fleets. Humans sent a child. They had sent fear. Humans sent trust. And it worked. The dragon opened its eyes again, no longer glowing with rage. They were calmer now. Older. Wiser. It looked at the galaxy beyond the child. And it understood something important. The war was never with humans. The war was with the galaxy that forgot how to care. And that war was finally over. The change did not happen with fire or light. It happened with silence. The red void, once filled with violent energy, became calm. Sensors across the galaxy showed something impossible: the dragon's power levels were stabilizing. Not growing. Not fading. Balanced. Alien councils gathered in emergency sessions. Faces that once showed fear now showed confusion. Nothing in their history explained what they were witnessing. "This breaks every rule," one elder said quietly. "We built our civilizations on fear of that creature," another replied. "Now it listens to a child." The human ship finally spoke. Not with demands. Not with warnings. Only one message was sent, broadcast to every listening system. "We did not come to fight." That was all. The galaxy waited for more. For conditions. For hidden threats. None came. The child slowly floated back toward the human ship, but did not leave the dragon. Small hands waved goodbye. The dragon watched closely, eyes following every movement. Something inside the dragon shifted. For the first time in its long existence, it did not want to be alone again. The dragon lifted its head and released a sound. This time, the sound was clear. Structured. Language. I remember, the dragon said. The words shook alien systems to their core. The dragon had always been considered too wild to speak. Too lost to reason. But it remembered. It remembered when the galaxy first found it. Young. Curious. Powerful, but peaceful. It remembered the chains. The experiments. The fear in the eyes of those who heard it first. It spoke of how every attempt to defend itself was labeled an attack. How every escape became a reason to hunt it more. And how, over time, it learned to answer fear with destruction. The galaxy listened. For the first time, it listened. The dragon's voice was heavy, not with anger, but with exhaustion. It did not ask for revenge. It did not threaten punishment. It only told the truth. Human leaders did not interrupt. They did not explain or defend themselves. They let the galaxy hear the full story. Then one human voice spoke. You were never our enemy. That sentence echoed across systems, replayed again and again. Aliens struggled to understand it. The dragon had destroyed worlds. Killed billions. How could humans say that? The answer was simple. Humans saw pain where others saw danger. The dragon turned its gaze toward the stars. Toward the fleets that once hunted it. Toward the planets that feared its shadow. I will not attack again, the dragon said. Not because I am weak. But because I choose not to. That choice terrified the galaxy more than its power ever had. Because it meant the dragon was no longer a mindless threat. It was a thinking being. A being that had chosen humanity. Alien empires began to withdraw fleets. Borders shifted. Old strategies were erased. No one knew how to face a species that could calm monsters instead of killing them. The child returned safely to the ship. The door closed softly. But the dragon did not leave. It stayed near human space. Watching. Guarding. The galaxy slowly understood the truth it had ignored for centuries. Humans were not dangerous because they built weapons. They were dangerous because they changed hearts. And that kind of power could reshape the universe forever. The galaxy did not celebrate. There were no cheers, no victory signals, no songs of triumph. After what had happened in the Red Void, no one felt brave enough to pretend this was a simple ending. Instead, there was silence. Long, heavy silence. Alien fleets slowly retreated from the border of human space. War formations broke apart. Weapons powered down. Systems that had been on constant alert for centuries finally rested. At the center of it all, the dragon remained. It floated beside the human ship, vast wings relaxed, eyes calm. The terror it once carried had changed into something else. Not peace exactly, but control. The galaxy watched carefully. No one trusted sudden kindness from a creature that had once ended worlds. But the dragon did not move. It did not threaten. It simply stayed. A new message was broadcast, this time from the dragon itself. I will guard, it said. Not out of debt. Out of choice. The words spread fast. Guard what? Guard whom? The answer became clear when the dragon shifted position, placing itself between human space and the rest of the galaxy. Not as a wall. As a warning. Humans did not ask for protection. That fact disturbed alien leaders even more. Human representatives addressed the councils. Their tone was calm, almost gentle. We do not want control, they said. We want understanding. Fear created this monster. Fear kept the war alive. We choose something else. That message forced the galaxy to face an uncomfortable truth. Everything they feared was created by fear itself. The dragon listened as new laws were discussed. Old rules that allowed the hunting of powerful beings were questioned. Ancient agreements built on dominance began to fall apart. For the first time, compassion was written into galactic law. Not because humans demanded it. Because the dragon demanded it. I will not allow another life like mine to be broken, the dragon declared. If you hunt the innocent, you hunt me. No empire challenged that statement. The child became a symbol. Not a hero. Not a weapon. A reminder. Statues were built across alien worlds, not of the dragon, not of humans, but of a small figure reaching out without fear. Stories spread faster than fleets ever had. Children across the galaxy asked new questions. Why did the monster stop? Why didn't the human run? Why didn't they fight? The answers were simple. Because not every problem is solved with force. Because not every threat wants war. Because sometimes, the universe is waiting to be understood. The dragon eventually moved deeper into space, but it never vanished again. It became a presence, a watcher, a quiet promise that destruction was no longer the galaxy's first response. Human ships traveled freely now, not as conquerors, but as diplomats, healers, and explorers. Where humans went, fear followed less. And the galaxy adapted. Slowly. Painfully. But it adapted. The child grew older, but the story never faded. Every species told it differently, but the truth stayed the same. The day the galaxy fell silent was not the day it almost died. It was the day it finally learned to listen. And somewhere beyond the stars, the dragon watched over them all, no longer the deadliest beast in the galaxy, but its greatest lesson.